What's up, guys, and welcome back to a very Datsun-y version of Project Time Garage. Yes, that's right, the Datsun is back on the channel again because it's about to be summertime and it's getting warm outside and car shows are popping up everywhere. And while this thing doesn't really need a lot, there are a few things that I do need to take care of this season. Turn signals have kind of gotten to where they don't really want to work at all over time. They were working great, and then slowly they were just kind of flaking out. I'm sure the bulb sockets are just gross, so we're going to fix that. Also, I've got one rear brake that seems to be really, really tight. It wants to grab before any of the rest of them, so I think it's a good idea to go through and do a full brake adjustment, make sure that everything is good and happy on that. And I've got a bumper that's a little bit like that. Needless to say, that's not up to factory spec. So we'll take care of that while we're at it. So I guess without further ado, let's get the thing up in the air. And I'm going to start with trying to get these turn signals worked out because that's the most annoying thing at this point. And maybe while we're up there, we'll have a look at that bumper and see what it needs to kind of shore it up a little bit. Well, let's start by seeing what does and what doesn't work. So I have no indicator inside. I do have some flashy here. And I do have some flashy back there. So that one's working. Just that center indicator, I guess. All right, let's see what we got on the other side. No flashy in here for that side either. Something's happening because I see my oil and my ignition light pulsing. So I got a flashy on this side. And I have a flashy on that side. So maybe they work fine on the outside, just not on the inside, which I guess that's not the end of the world, but sure would be nice if they worked nonetheless. So we'll have a look at that. If you've never had one of these dashboards out of these little trucks, then today is your lucky day. Unless you don't want to have one of these dashes out of this truck, and then in which case it's a very unlucky day. Either way, I got to take the dash out. Here's how we do it. There is a screw at the bottom of the dash here, and at the bottom of the dash here. Phillips head screws. And two. To get the rest of the bezel off, you pull out just a little bit and straight down on the whole thing, and it has some clips up there at the top. Now, if you have a tack like me, it's going to be in your way. But anyway, that's what it looks like right there. You see the clips this side and this side that just pull straight down. Once you do that, you're going to have a couple more Phillips head screws up here. Now be careful because these have nuts on the back side of them, so you don't want to drop those. They should just, spin out with your fingers. They shouldn't be on so tight that they won't come off. There we go. So there's our screw and nut. I'm just going to set those up here. And there's that one. I cannot put it together. Put it up here. At this point, I don't think there's anything else holding the dash in here. Now, you guys would probably remember there was another video where I did this whole dash. I basically had the whole thing apart, the glass out, repainted the needles, redid all the lights to LEDs and all that. In fact, I'll go ahead and stick a link to that video up top here somewhere, I think on this side of the video. Or is it on this side? I think it's on the, anyway, it's going to be up there somewhere if you want to see that whole process happen. But I am going to just turn a turn signal on here and wiggle around a little bit and see if anything just happens. But I'm not seeing it. What about the other side? Now, in the ignition light, see how it's a little bit janky there? Yeah, we got something happening here. Okay, yeah. We're going to pull this out and go over our connections. Now, what you can't see is on the back side, there's a horn. On the back side, at the very bottom, there's the speedometer cable, which is held in by a big, basically a ring, like a nut. And there is one electrical cable here that is here also. And I'm going to show you this when I get it apart. I can't show you it otherwise. So it looks like this. There's the speedometer portion right there, and it's just a ring that you unscrew. Goes into that, and the electrical plug is right here, and it goes in there. So let's get over here on the bench and see what we can do. Actually, before we do that, let's decide which of these are turn signals. Like this one, for example, is a turn signal. I can see the red diffuser, and you know, I can kind of hold it up to the light and see that I'm behind that little lens there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the lead from the positive side of that bulb all the way over to see which pin it goes to. And I know that I'm on the right one because I only have two options here. I have a top or a bottom. The top goes directly to a pin. The bottom goes and shares something in common with this bulb that happens to be a rivet. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be ground. So all of that tells me that this this pin here is the positive. So that will help me determine or be able to test what's going on here in the truck. And in fact, I think that's something we probably should do next. Let's get a test meter and let's just test and make sure that we're getting, you know, turn signal up here, right? All right, so I'm just going to basically count backward again on this. I know that if my index is straight up, then it's going to be pin 1, 2, 3 from the bottom there. So, right here. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So I don't know if you can see that test slide or not, but that's the left turn signal. And then I can go up the other way, up to the right turn signal, and that should be straight up. And there's that one. So I'm getting voltage this far, so my problem lies with the cluster itself. So let's go work all that garbage out. Okay, if you guys know me, you'll know that I am a huge fan of using just a portable jump box for things like this, because it's just so handy. So we'll get a little back probe kit. This is just a really handy little kit of various things. You can't even see me, can you? Here, let me get you where you can see me. There we go. I look good, don't I? That's better. This is just a little back probe kit, and got it on Amazon. As a matter of fact, if you guys are curious, I'll leave a link down there below. I've about worn the thing out because it's so handy for little junk like this. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hook this cluster up to 12 volts and make sure I see these lights all light up. That is the goal. So I will take the red lead, clip it on the battery box red or positive. I'll take the black lead and I will just clip it onto the positive. And now I've got 12 volts in my hand. And at this point, all I really have to do is I can just ground this this thing anywhere, like let's say, I don't know, here for example. So now we're grounded. And as I touch pins on the back, I should be able to light things up. For example, this is that 12 o'clock straight up pin right here. See? That's that turn signal there that we were just talking about. And I don't know why. It's a little bit janky. I think it's just dirty contacts, because see how I can wiggle it and make it kind of weird? So that's that. And the other one was, let's see, I'm tracing it back to this one right here. See, that one's working too. I swear I think they were just dirty contacts. I think that's really all there was to it. Either way, I'll clean these up real quick. But while I've got it apart, it also makes sense to go ahead and test the other bulbs and make sure that they all work. And I guess what we'll do is just reverse engineer this the same way we did everything else and figure out which ones are which. So I'm pretty sure that this end one right here, this end bulb, and this end bulb, and these two black bulbs, all these are black sockets. I'm pretty sure all of these are my, that's not good at all right there. Got to fix that. Pretty sure all of those are my my dash lights. So it's really easy just to find one of these and just follow it over to see where it goes. In this case, it goes to this pin right here. So I'm still grounded. I should be able to go to that pin right there and light up the whole board, and I can. And they all work pretty good. I can wiggle them. Nothing seems bad there. Nothing at all. This one here is my high beam indicator. See, it's not working now. But when I touch it, see, I think this is what I had going on. I don't know if you can see that light kind of coming and going or not. I can touch it and make it work and not work. So I kind of wonder if it's just not junky connections. Either way, we're going to clean them up. And to do that, I'm just going to use a little brass brush, and we'll just kind of scrape it up here. Clean it up. I want to keep it. I'm going to keep the ground hooked to it, so I can go back and you know, and test it. As I go. It sure doesn't take much to clean these up. Another thing you can do is on these sockets, you can take these little tabs and kind of spring them out a little bit and give them a little bit more tension. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I'm going to deal with that. Okay, go clean the rest of these up. We'll put it back in the truck, see what we've got. All right, well, that's got us all cleaned up, and all the bulbs put back in and tested again in circuit. So let's stick it back in the truck and see if that did anything for us at all. I cleaned up every connection that I could reasonably find to clean up, and I cleaned them reasonably well. I'm going to try not to disturb any of them when I'm putting this thing back together. Oh, I hate that horn. Scares me every single time. Alright, so I haven't hooked the speedometer back up yet, but I do want to at least just kind of set it up here. For whatever reason, that is still not working. I don't know why. Neither is my oil light. All of all my other lights are working, but my oil light isn't working for whatever reason. It should be on right now, unless I've got it backward. Nope, it's just not on, period, is all. This light should be flashing right now. It's not. Could it be the LEDs? It could be the LEDs. Let me just try to swap those out. Yeah, let's just pop this thing out, and we'll put an incandescent bulb in there, and see if it has the same problem. No, it's lighting. It's just not very bright. Wonder if we don't have enough. Wonder if we don't have enough voltage coming back or something like that. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the ground is poor on it. Huh, that's interesting. I'm about to unhook the horn. All right. Well, got a bunch of questions going on here. Like, what is our ground like? Let's go check that out. Okay. This light is dimming every time the light flashes. Indicates that there's obviously the common ground that they're sharing, I guess, isn't quite good enough of a ground. So what happens if I ground the cluster? Nothing. Nothing at all. What if I go up and ground the circuit board? I don't know where it's getting its ground from, but it's just not very bright. Could it be that the truck just doesn't have enough juice right now to get it done? So was it just a voltage thing, you think, the whole time? You think it was just a deal where I didn't have enough voltage to make everything... Yeah, see how everything's like bouncing around there? If I start it... My, that is interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it just doesn't like the LED bulbs anymore that have worked for a year. Pretty strange. We'll give it what it likes, though. There. Okay. I'll go ahead and hook up my speedometer and put this thing back together, and then we'll have another look at it. Well, there's the dash put back together. There are all of our lights on, and if we start up the truck, make sure it's neutral. Start up the truck, then everything works. We've got lights. We have horn. I think we established that earlier. Left turn. Right turn. How about headlights and how about high beam? Yeah, high beam works. So at this point, I am pretty happy to say that everything on the dash is good. Move on to the next thing. Let's go on up. We'll have a look at that bumper. See what it needs too. As far as the bumper goes, it looks like there is a bolt back in there somewhere that's loose. It looks like maybe you get to it from the top. Is that right? No, I see right there. There is a spot right here. I think I may just be missing a bolt, possibly. Wouldn't that be awesome? It's never happened before. Now maybe that's what it is. Okay, so at least I know what that is, and that's not too hard to fix. Go see what I have as far as bolts go. Bet that's the one. We'll go ahead and start with a little courtesy spray of PV Blaster. Surely that's the right size, right? I think so. I bet those holes are going to be rusty and crusty and grossy. It's threaded in pretty easy. Way more rigid. Whole lot more gooder and better and stuff than that. Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and move toward the brakes and get those kind of worked out a little bit. Basically, I think I'm just going to start with trying to adjust the brakes and get the right amount of drag. And actually, I see some wetness back there on the back. But I got a wheel cylinder leaking. Just be willing to bet. I wonder what the chances are. Oh no, that's not. That's just a wheel weight. I saw that wheel weight on the bottom there and I thought it was a shiny spot from back there, but it's not. It's dry as a bone. Phew. I'll take luck any day. Okay, let's get the thing up on a trolley jack, see what we can do about getting the brakes adjusted. I want to take it for a ride. As far as these brakes go, the idea is to have just a little bit of drag on them, and the way we do that is on the back, there's an adjuster here. It looks like kind of a cogged wheel that you can see, and what you do is you take a certified adjusting apparatus and you twist it. You basically turn it, and I think this one has to go this way in order to tighten the shoes up. And basically it's just this repetitive motion right here, and each time you do that you should be screwing the adjuster out, spreading the shoes apart tighter against the drums. Of course, I need to jack it up just a little bit more because this tire is trying to touch just a little bit on me. So let me get that done. Not like that. So I can hear it a little bit, but not a lot. So we're going to go a little. So we're going to go a little more with it. We're just going to basically go until I stop hitting my flashlight. We're going to go until we basically just have a little bit of bit of play there. And I think I may actually be going the wrong way with this. I can never keep it straight which side goes what direction. A set of brake spoons would be way easier to do this with, but I don't know if I have any or not. Oh yeah, yeah, we're starting to drag just a little bit here. Yeah, so right there, it's just a little bit tight, but if we spin it back and forth a little bit, I'm actually going to loosen that just a little bitty bit. Like that right there. There, I can barely hear a drag. Let's see if you can hear it. I hear that shoe dragging just a little bit. I'm going to call that good. We're going to go over to the other side. We're going to do the exact same thing over there. Actually, this one is dragging. This was my tight brake. So I may just not do anything at all about this. I may set them down and go do the other side, see what we've got there. In fact, let's do that. Well, this tire is extremely free spinning. So I believe this side was going down to adjust, right? There we go. Nope, still no. Close though. Let's try this. I'm just barely starting to get a little bit of a, there we go. All right, feel better about that one. Go over to this one, do the same thing. All right, and on this one, I guess we go the opposite way, right? Good. This one doesn't have as much, it's a little harder to get to. Oh, look, that tightened that one up pretty quick. Didn't take much. I need to go run it down the road and see what that feels like, because that may just be it right there. I don't know. Well, okay, let's go take it for a spin and see if that fixes things up. Well, I mean, they actually feel pretty good. If I just stop, I mean, it stops pretty straight. It stops straighter than it did before, that's for sure. Got a little flat spot right there in the carburetor somewhere at about quarter throttle, so I can go ahead and give it some gas and it goes away. For right now it's a little touchy, but anyway, ride along in the Datsun, enjoy some of these scenic Tennessee back roads. It's a good day for it. I get home, I got to remember to turn the heater box off. Summertime now, we don't need all that business. Well, I gave it a little coat of fresh patina sauce earlier today. Of course, missed a spot, but who cares? So, there's only one thing left to do. That's right. Some black satin, baby. I stumbled on this stuff at the auto parts store here a while back. I've been using the crap out of it. In the old days, we used to cruise town and, spend way too much time customizing and detailing our cars. We used to spray the tire foam or tire wet or whatever on there before we washed the car, and then we would just hose off the tires, and it would get that sheen knocked off of it, and it would just turn that kind of satiny color. Basically, what this stuff is doing. Pretty cool. I'd probably get it anywhere. Come back and look at those in a minute. They won't look like that at all. Much better. Much, much better. Yeah, you can see that tire right there. The wet look kind of goes away, and you're left with kind of a satiny finish. It'll actually satin off a little more than that by the time it's over with. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, ready for summer. Just need some nice warm days like today and some little local car shows. This thing is going to be making the circuit this summer, so I'll make sure to put some content out there for you guys. I know the series where we were working on this and making it into what it is now, it got a ton of views and it got a ton of positive like encouraging comments and stuff, and I really appreciate that. Like I said before, if I haven't already done it earlier, I'm going to put a link up here in the corner of the screen somewhere to the series on this truck. You can find it on my channel along with other stuff. But anyway, guys, appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about us. And guys, I'll see you next time.